Time for our spiritual talk with John Homewood. If you're joining us for the first time, John Homewood is a spiritual life coach. He's a teacher. This is what he does. He gives us about 10 minutes of his time every week because he's got a passion for sharing the wisdom that he's learned through years of meditation, of self-reflection, of study, and life lessons. He joins us on the line. Today, he's talking an interesting topic, how to find love. Master John, happy Sunday from Johannesburg. Rather hot Johannesburg today. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you and hello to all the listeners. Yes, today we're talking about a very important subject, love, and Valentine's Day is coming up, so it's a very appropriate time of the year to speak about it, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's one thing that everybody keeps saying. They say they are looking for love.
I'm going to start out just by giving a little picture to hold in your mind, a little analogy. So just imagine that you are a drop of water in the ocean. Now, we know that every drop, if it's a separate drop, it actually has around itself a membrane. And that membrane is actually a polarized electrical field. Getting too technical here, but what makes the drop separate to the rest is a polarized electromagnetic field around that drop. Now, you are a drop in the ocean. Just think of that. You're a drop of water sitting in this magnificent ocean. But you have around you this polarized magnetic field that separates you from the ocean. And the ocean is love. And we are that little drop of water that has a membrane around it that prevents us from fully integrating with that love. So if you can just keep that image in your mind of you being a drop of water in the ocean, and we'll come back to it just now. So this time of the year, the shops are full of Valentine products, etc., and it's all about romantic love. It's all about the roses and the flowers and the going out to have a special meal, etc., etc. And we all yearn for this romantic love. It makes us feel so good. We feel so connected. We have an underlying physical and emotional need to connect at a biological level to other people and to have a very special relationship with someone else, for someone else to make us feel whole and complete and fulfilled and secure. So these are all parts of the aspect of love that we call romantic love. Now, the world out there, the world of commerce, has made this into an object, a thing to be sold to us. It's taught that we don't have it, but if we buy this, then we'll get it. So it's something that we can acquire, but the other side of acquiring something is that it can actually be taken away from us. We can lose it. So there's this continual anxiety within us. Are we going to get it? And once we get it, how can we hold on to it? So that's what's going on beneath the surface of this romantic love, which makes it not such a peaceful, joyful place to live in for too long, as many of us have found. And the core belief pattern that we all have that underlies this whole process, that allows the commercial sector to get money out of our pocket, the core underlying belief that we have, that every single one of us have, is that I am not enough, that I am lacking, and that if we get something, we will be fulfilled. And in this case, it's if I get a relationship, if I have someone outside of me to validate who I am, then they're going to give me something, and this something is called love. And then when I get this something, I'm going to be more fulfilled. I'm going to be more perfect than what I am at this stage. Now, that is a wonderful dance, and it's great to have that sort of interaction, that human experience. But ultimately, it's not the love that we're really seeking, because that type of love, that special relationship love to make you feel whole and complete, is actually part of a separation from the whole. It's a restriction on who you are, and it actually robs you of the freedom that your heart yearns for. The other type of love, which is the more complete love, which is the love that our heart yearns for, that our soul yearns for, is really something very different, and that is a spiritual love. It's a holy love. And let's ask the question, what is love? What is love really, if it's not this thing, this object that can be bought and can be taken away from you? what is it really? But if you go into it, it's actually a sense of connection, isn't it? If you feel the love of nature, what do you feel? You feel a connection with nature. If you feel love for a certain community, you feel a connection with that community. If you feel a love for a certain individual, you feel a connection with that other person. And love really is a love of connection, or a sense of connection with yourself. It's a sense of connection with life and with the essence of life that animates all the objects around us. So the two levels which we can visualize, the first level is the level of mind. It's about past and future and objects, and it's on the horizontal plane. So you can imagine this horizontal plane of object love, of romantic love, going from the past to the future, and basically, hopefully in the future, we're going to get all our needs met. The other level of love, this spiritual, this holy, sacred depth of love, is actually a vertical plane. It's the depth of love itself. And it's not based in time. It's not going anywhere. It's always here. Like that ocean I mentioned earlier. It's always here. It's always around us. What I'd like to do is, with your permission, if I may, is just do a 1-minute meditation to help us connect with this ocean of love, with this depth of love, rather than the story of love. Can we do that?
Let's meditate. We're ready.
All right, so to meditate, we just close our eyes gently, if you wish, and we focus on the one thing that isn't really a thing, but it's always with us. And it does take us out of this mind story very quickly into the depth of life, which is love. And that is the breath. So closing your eyes and just focus on this wonderful gift that we have called the breath. You know, you can be without a lot of things for quite a long while, but the breath you can only be without for a minute or two. So it's a very sacred, very necessary to life, to being alive, is this breath. So just focus on taking a deep in-breath and take it right down to your belly button. Not a shallow breath into your shoulders, but a deep breath right down into your lower abdomen. And then what I want you to do is just release it. Just allow it to leave your body unimpeded. So we take a deep breath in, blowing up, tummy up like a big balloon. And then we breathe it out maybe with a long sigh. And then we breathe in again, taking a deep breath right down to our toes this time, filling our whole body. And then we just sigh it out with a long out breath. Just let it go. Let's do this one last time. Take a deep breath in, filling your whole body, your toes and your fingers with air. And then a long, long out breath. Just let it go and center yourself back into your body. Come down into your present moment, into your body. And just visualize for a moment in your imagination that you're entering a sacred garden, a beautiful place. For a moment, just hear all the sounds of the garden. Maybe you can hear some birds. Maybe you can hear the trickle of some water. Maybe there's a water feature. Maybe there's a little fountain. Maybe there's a river running through your garden. So just sit and rest for a moment in this sacred love garden. And then you notice in front of you is a beautiful red rose. And you lean forward and you smell the rose, and you can smell that deep fragrance coming from that red rose. It is so magnificent. And maybe you even reach out your hand in your imagination and you touch the velvet petal of the rose and you feel its softness. And then you notice something else. You notice that this rose has a luminescence about it. It has something ethereal about it. It has an energy about it which you can call life if you like. You can call it presence if you like. And as you sit here immersed in the presence of this beautiful rose, you notice that you are that presence. The same presence that's in that rose, that's in that fragrance, that's in that color, is actually also you. You are the consciousness which is witnessing the object of the rose, and yet You are actually that essence of presence. And you feel your heart opening. And into that opening in your heart, you put this beautiful red rose, which symbolizes the depth of life, the depth of love itself. And you relax and you allow the separation between you and the ocean to dissolve. That membrane that separates you from the ocean of love, in this moment, dissolves in the power of presence. And you feel one with all that's around you in this moment. Just this moment. You feel a sense of ease and a sense of peace. Take a deep breath in and breathe out and open your eyes and just see how you feel in this moment.
Oh, wow. Wow, it's beautiful. At least for me, I think I look around the studio with the people that are with me, they're all smiling. I think we feel the same way.
It's to understand that romantic love isn't wrong. Romantic love is actually an expression of God's love for us. But it is to go deeper than the biology. It's deeper than the possessiveness of a special relationship, and find that you are actually this love. I want to just end with a poem written by a 13th century Persian mystic called Rumi. He said, "Your task is not to seek love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." So we are that drop of water in the ocean, and our task is just to dissolve the sense of separateness from the world around us, so that we can be immersed once more in the ocean of love. And the affirmation which I can leave you with today, which you can start working with, is, "I am filled and overflowing with the love of presence now." I am filled and overflowing with the love of presence now.
Fantastic. Thank you, John. Where can people find you?
Well, let me just say that I've got 3 workshops and retreats coming up shortly, and they're all focused on love. I've got one in Kyalami coming up in 2 weeks' time in Johannesburg, and then I've got one in the Eastern Cape at a beautiful place called Hogsback, and then I'm doing one on love in Temenos in McGregor in the Western Cape. So all 3. And you can have a look at the details on my website, which is www.johnhomewood.net. And I also post all relevant information, including a copy of today's talk, on my Facebook page, which is John Homewood 7.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the beautiful meditation. And thank you for reminding me the ocean and I are one. We appreciate it. Have a lovely, lovely week, John.
And may everyone have a beautiful, blessed Valentine week.